What's good, Internet? Today is June 26, 2023, and it's time for the Giant Robot News. It's going to be a little bit of a grab bag today, so buckle up and let's get into it. Our first story is Transformers Legacy Evolution Officer Strongarm behind the scenes. We have a bunch of new reveals this last week, actually, and you know what that means. It's time for Mark Marr, and he's back with another behind-the-scenes look at how these toys came to be. First off, robot mode. I have to admit the figure looks pretty good. I really do like the robot mode. I love the fact that the shoulders are the actual car parts and she looks like her RID visage. It looks like a good figure. It really does. I'm just miffed that, Elita 1 was not a great figure. And apparently Minerva isn't much better. You can see the differences between the figures. Strongarm retains pretty much all the same molding except the head, and then parts in vehicle mode are slightly different. The arms, or the forearms, also appear to be different. But there they are in vehicle mode. I love that alt mode for Elita 1. I'm just sad that it's not a very good figure. But Strongarm is looking better. I think this is going to be a better use of the mold. I like the look of it, and all that stuff coming off the back is pretty funny. I do like that. Yeah, I think it's a good figure. Now let's see what Mark has to say. In Mark's own words, now I know a lot of what you were thinking. Was the Elita 1 mold the perfect base body for this character? The team thought it would be great to have these two side by side with some similarities. They make a great team featured here. Also, just some more insight, some of the concepts and ideas are always in flux, utilizing different molds for pitches, so availability and timing always play a factor. Now I don't think Strongarm being with Elita 1 makes much sense, but honestly, who cares? Next up, Cookie-san from Takara Tomy really did a wonderful job making this partial remolding the very best it could be. Some screenshots I captured from the animated series look almost identical to how she turned out here. I would agree with that. I really would. Now the truck mode, not so much, but definitely the robot mode. There are some images or some pictures he's got here that really do feel like they are coming out of the screen a little bit. Not totally, but a little bit. I can see where he's going with this. This next point is pretty interesting. I pushed pretty hard on trying to get all the deco I could for the character. In her animated appearance, there were definitely some details and colors that seemed to jump around quite a bit. Even a lot of promotional art and toys for her had so many things differentiated, it was hard to choose the right direction. I can understand that because RID kind of fudged the animation a little bit here and there. I felt the two-tone blue was a must and the face deco came out of this world. Noted for future reference, the factory had quite a time trying to live up to the highly complex deco on such a small surface. The design journey on some of these characters keeps me up at night. The final look, though, is worth it in the end. I would agree with that. The deco on her face is pretty darn good, and overall the deco on the character works. It's got a hell of a lot more paint, and I think a better deco than Elita 1 does. Am I going to pick up Strongarm? Yeah, I'm going to pick this one up. I really want to get a hold of this, because I like the Strongarm character, and I'm glad she's getting some representation. This is the first RID 2015 figure we're getting in the Legacy line. Next up, Insecticon Bombshell, new, better in-hand images. And yeah, that is a much better image for Decepticon Bombshell. That is a lot better. All of these images comes from eBay, and overall I think Bombshell is looking pretty darn good. I'm just bummed that the legs are exactly the same as Shrapnel. I get it. And the arms are also very similar. I get it. I really do. There's tooling that you've got to share amongst characters in order to save money. But I would have liked to have him be his own truly unique toy. I can't argue with the way it looks, though. I think it looks pretty dang good. The bug mode proportions just irritate me because the back of the bug here is just so much bigger than the front. It just doesn't look right proportion-wise. Now, that being said, I'm wondering if a third party like either Non-Nef or DNA Designs might actually release a set that is a brand new lower body. That could be cool. But yeah, it's a deluxe class figure that I'm definitely going to pick up. I'm looking forward to it, even if I do have some quibbles. And we have our first in-hand look at Senator Shockwave and Orion Pax. I have to admit, I really am looking forward to this set. I have it pre-ordered, and I love the look of that Orion Pax. I just absolutely love it. Shockwave being the Seeker mold from Siege with a heavy retool, I'm less enthused about it, but I can see why they went with this. It makes sense. Overall, I like the look of this set, and I definitely want to get a hold of it. I love that Orion Pax based off of Siege Hound. I love the coloring on that thing. Yeah, the alt mode is virtually identical and empty on the inside, but it works. It works well. And having it be not a pickup, a Jeep or a four-wheeled Jeep that then, once it gets a Matrix, he turns into a giant thing that pulls a trailer makes more sense, I think. The one thing I am weirded out about, though, isn't that axe the same axe that the Orion Pax from like 4 or 5 years ago came with? I think it is. Let me know down in the comments if I'm right on that. Next up, Transformers One Step Flip Heroes 3-pack Amazon exclusive. We've got a 3-pack coming out that contains Wheeljack, Prime, and Bumblebee. Neat. I think that's actually neat. Will I get it? Probably not. But it's cool. I'm glad it's coming out. I'm glad they're, putting all the figures together. Though I am a little bit odded out that, they're going with G1 Wheeljack as opposed to Pablo. All right, let's see. What's the cost on this? Nope, no cost at this time. Next up, Prime 1 Studios Transformer Rise of the Beast Optimus Primal statue. This is, in fact, a double Primal statue. We've got both Gorilla and Robot mode in this statue set. And I can't argue with it. It looks phenomenal. I love all the paint. I love the glowing Maximal symbol in the front. I love the weird, freaky Energon coming off the back. That's very cool. Though I do find it interesting, the orange Unicron color scheme they've got going there. But the robot mode is choice. That looks good. And then, Monkey Primal is squishing a Terracon. I like that. That's really cool. That is a really neat statue. Wow. Yeah, it's a bit monochromatic. I don't care. It still looks great. Unfortunately, details like scale, price, or release date haven't been revealed at this time. Now, moving on to some comic book news. Skybound reveals the Autobot roster for Transformers #1 coming in October 2023. For those that don't know, Skybound Entertainment now has both the Transformers and the G.I. Joe comic book license. There was some rumor going around that it was going to be Image Comics that got it. Nope. Skybound. So we've got Optimus Prime, RC, Wheeljack, Cliffjumper, and Ratchet. That's a really interesting set. I'm really surprised that they're going with Cliffjumper and not Bumblebee. I'm happy that we're getting some characters that normally don't show up in the first few issues. I like this set. I really do. Kind of has a Transformers Prime feel to it. RC, Ratchet, and, well, hopefully Cliffjumper doesn't turn into a zombie this time. And Wheeljack. That's nice. We've got the medic, the scientist, the fighter, and the scrappy little dude. And Prime, of course. Now, give me Brawn. I would like to see Brawn. Brawn has always been one of my favorites. But yeah, this is great. I'll see if I can pick up this comics when they come out in October. I'm really hoping that I don't know where they're going to go with this. I honestly don't. So it's going to be neat to see. Thankfully, it doesn't look like we're getting a previously on Cybertron before the war for the 3rd time in a row. And finally, in the absolute weirdest crossover news, we're getting a new $400 statue of Optimus Prime as a football player. What? These statues are in collaboration with ZW World's website. They are 41 centimeters tall and ready to order at $430 per unit, shipping worldwide. The statue itself is $350. Again, I say, what? It looks like we're going to be getting a couple of them. We've got what appears to be Starscream, Megatron, Prime, Bumblebee, and Soundwave. Wow. I don't even know what to make of these. These are just absolutely bonkers. I mean, these things are huge. 43 centimeters? That's just shy of 17 inches. Good Lord. That's insane. And I kind of love it. I do. I really kind of love this. It's just so stupid. but it's cool. And I love, love, love the mustache. That's got to be a nod back to Peter Cullen himself. I absolutely love this. It is so incredibly dumb that it's gone straight right back around to being kind of awesome. So according to their website, it's going to be released in Q3 of 2023. Pre-orders are available now for $430. I'm trying to see if there's anything... Oh, wait a minute. It's made of PVC. Okay. So it might not be that heavy, which is good. But still, this is bonkers. I mean, this is absolutely bonkers. But again, I kind of love it. The last thing I want to talk about is something that I've recently rediscovered, and that is this new series coming in October with 3 different episodes appearing on Gundam Info's YouTube page. It's called Gundam Build Metaverse. All 3 episodes to stream at gundam.info from 2023 in October. This is weird because there were stories last year about Bandai trying to make its own metaverse, its own like VR metaverse that was Gundam based. And it's got NFTs and there's the blockchain involved, and it's a headache. But they are creating this new show that's only 3 episodes, but still, it's got some interesting mecha designs that I'd like to talk about. First off, character, Ryo Hojo. He's a boy who's interested in Japanese culture, and he lives in Hawaii, apparently. He's got the La Gundam, which is based off of a new Gundam model kit called the Entry Grade RX-78-2. We'll talk about that in a bit. These are the model kits that are going to be coming. We've got the hero unit, the secondary unit. This is actually a hero unit from the first Gundam Build series. And this is a hero unit from the character of... I can't remember. Seiki from Gundam Build Fighters Try. And then we've got some other ones. And then this last one that I want to talk about because that's a pretty cool one. So the first one we're going to talk about is the La Gundam, coming in at 1,000 yen. That's only just about $7. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I think this is really interesting. I love the look of it. It's definitely the RX-78-2 with a new shield and new weapons on the back. He's got a beam naginata and then a trident, which forms the shaft. It's got a lot of posability. It can move freely, as it says. It's got an ab crunch, ab backwards, and then side to side. It's got a good rotation, or good bend at the elbow, and then the legs have excellent rotation. I keep saying rotation, posability. But what's interesting is this new kit doesn't require nippers, glue, or stickers. All the parts come pre-made, and if I'm reading this right, you just put all the parts together. Kind of like if, I guess you could call it like a Lego Gundam set, almost. So there's no cutting required. This is fascinating because the biggest barrier to entry for a lot of folks with Gundam is the snap fit, is clipping those pieces off and putting the figure together and then having the burrs and the markups from removing the pieces from the runners. I'm going to get this figure because I want to see this for myself. This looks like a really cool toy for younger kids, and I'm wondering if my son would like this. This is neat. I'm legitimately fascinated by this. Okay, here we have the beam shield, beam rifle, beam naginata, and the other shaft. And it looks like a superposable figure. And I love this idea. If I'm right, I love this idea because it's what MSIA should have been, in my opinion. And I don't know if anybody remembers, but in the late 90s, especially around the G Gundam and Wing Gundam time, there were 8-inch figures released that were just toys. They were just toys. And if they were kits that we could put together, like this one that I'm assuming is what you do, I would have loved that. That would have been amazing. Oh, and if you didn't know, I reviewed a bunch of those 8-inch figures on this very channel. They're in the Gundam playlist if you want to go watch them. And then finally, the unpainted prototype. Still, I think it looks good. I'm definitely going to get this one. Moving on to the entry grade 144 Build, Strike, Exceed Galaxy. Good lord, that's a mouthful. I think it looks good. I really do. I think it looks really neat. And it's a nice evolution of the Build Gundam. Yep. And then we've got this, not a core fighter, it's called a booster on the back. More pictures of that in a second. And yeah, the overall effect works. Yep. It's still the no nippers, no glue, no stickers. Kit can be posed freely. Same posability. And then you can assemble the little core block. Hardpoints are implemented throughout the body to enhance customization. Now, I think they're stealing this from Transformers, because these, I don't know if they're 5mm ports or not, but they are ports that you could just fit a bunch of other things on, and that's a great idea. I think Bandai should have been doing this for a long time, and they kind of were in some models, but especially in the Build Fighters, and what was the last Build Fighters? I don't even remember. The one where they all merged into a giant, stupid Thunder Thigh thing. Anyway, it was the one with the Core Gundam. I think it's neat. And the booster. There's the booster, which is its own little plane. Booster can be attached to arms and legs for reasons. Now, this is what I was talking about. Various Gunpla parts, such as those from the Gundam Build series, can be attached. That's a brilliant idea. And with these being a snap-together fit, theoretically, I love that idea. I'm tempted to get this guy and get some of these little smaller kits. Yeah, back to the main unit again. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Next, we have the HG 144 Shin Burning Gundam. Now, this is 2,400 yen, which is a little over twice. So we're talking closer to about $20 for this one, and it's 144. I can't argue with the look. It looks really good. And this is an evolution of the Burning Gundam from Build Fighters Try. It comes with a beam cape, which I find really silly. Kind of stealing Dynamis' thunder there, buddy. And it comes with a giant sword, and it looks like it's got beam launchers in the fists. And this is going to be a unit that you actually have to assemble yourself, because it's got the runners here on the right. You can enjoy gradations with the color changing effect achieved when the parts are lit up or when they are seen from different angles. Huzzah! Comes with 3 types of hands, right and left included. And yeah, that's very posable. And why is he doing a Master Gundam pose? Punch effect, sword effect, kick effect. Nice. I like it. I like this one a lot. Sword effect, sword, sheath, 2 tonfas, kick effect, punch effect, fists, and then beam cape. I actually really like the beam cape. It looks cool. Next up, SD Gundam Cross Silhouette F Konichikai. This is 1,800 yen, so let's take a look at it. Yep. That's an SD Gundam, all right. Little Ninja SD Gundam. Got a lot on the backpack. This is interesting. You have the SD frame, which is your standard super deformed frame, or the CS frame, which I guess that means compact stance. I'm not sure. But you go from the super tiny one to just a little bit taller, and both of the frames are included. That's really cool. I like that a lot. I think that's a really neat addition, because you've got obviously longer legs and maybe a change in the arm. Yeah, longer legs and longer arms. Yeah, that's a really nice addition to this set. Also, the set has different modes, maximum output mode and light armor mode, which is neat. And its parts are also compatible with Legend BB Musasha, Knight, and Command Gundam, which that's a nice nod. I like that a lot. That's cool. Which makes me wonder if it's going to actually switch between forms in the show. Here are the weapons, the kunais, some backpack unit, I have no idea what this is, flame units that come out of the shoulders, a wakizashi, and a big-ass throwing star. Okay, it's a big-ass throwing star shield. Now, one thing that I'm not seeing in the description is the maximum output mode and light armor mode can be recreated by converting parts. There's nothing here that says that those maximum output parts and the light armor parts come with the figure. Oh, and I missed this. Here's the mode change. We've got the shield can turn into beam kunai, and then we got the big kunai that flip into rifle mode. That's neat. I like that. Next up, HD 144 Gundam 00 Driver Arc, 2,500 yen. And yeah, it's a 00 driver with some extra kibbles and bits. I like the design. I always liked the 00. It was a neat design. The one thing that's really cool is this kit adopts light gathering resin for its effect parts. So those effect parts in the shoulders glow in the dark, just like my son's glasses. That's really cool. And the GN drivers can slide in and out, and I think this is the first kit of this line that comes with foil stickers. Oh, those are going to be a pain in the butt to attach or to apply. All right, different weapons. We've got the swords that transform into rifle mode. We've got 6 different hands, 3 for right and left, and then we have all these sword bits. And those sword bits plug into the shoulders when they open up and plug into the forearms, which that looks really cool. Oh, and there's one sticking out of his butt. And then they can all turn into a giant sword mode. I'm all for giant beam swords. We need more of that in Gundam. The Epion was the one that started it. Continued our tradition here of giant beam swords. All right, we're coming up to the last 2. The next one is the HG-144 Poutine Gundam. I almost said Poutine. No, it's not cheese curds and french fries Gundam. 2,300 yen, December. And this is actually a heavily remodded or modded core Gundam. It looks neat. Dark purple, black, and gray. I like it. Got this giant thing coming off the butt for the core Gundam. And here's the core flyer. It's exactly like the original core Gundam from the last Build Fighters. I keep calling it Build Fighters. I'm sure it's called something else. Core Gundam 2 Plus. Yeah. The core flyer was the weakest transformation. It literally just folds up underneath and like a poor man's wing Gundam. But all the extra bits turn into Pluto armor, which is cool. I love the way this thing looks. It looks ridiculous. And then here's all those pieces combining with the core Gundam. We've got extra shoulder bits, extra head bit, legs. Yeah, that's neat. It was a interesting idea that was not, I don't think was utilized well in that original show. I think it could have been utilized better. But its giant scythe folds up and becomes a lance, which really, if you try hard enough and you put a pointy thing on the top of a scythe, any scythe can become a lance. Now, this is something that I saw earlier that made me scratch my head. It looks like those shoulder parts come off and become funnels. Maybe they have, or just turn into giant flying, spinning things of death. I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out. But I get the distinct feeling that these are articulated, that they could fold in and out. But it doesn't look like that in these pictures. You see what I'm talking about? It looks like these white pieces can fold in and out or turn, or there's a hinge there that it looks like they could collapse, but who knows. And then it also comes with all these different stands. So you've got the weapon, and then what looks like the weapon that can turn into a gun, different fists, and then here is the skeleton for that flying armor mode. Poutine Gundam! I like the name, but as I said, I keep calling it Poutine Gundam for some reason. And lastly, the HG-1144 Gundam Build Metaverse Large Unit, tentative name, 8,000 yen. That comes to just about $56. Yeah, that's crazy. That's absolutely bonkers. But what else is bonkers is the actual unit itself. This has both a real Destroy Gundam and Psycho Gundam feel. It really does. So the hands and shoulders specifically, remind me of the Psycho Gundam. But there are these handlebars at the top, and then the cannons coming off at angles, and then these giant pylons for the shoulders that give me Destroy Gundam vibes. Also, the skirt. The front skirt feels like the Destroy Gundam as well. Now, for those of you not familiar, the Psycho Gundam is an absolutely freaking massive Gundam. This is what the mobile suit mode looks like. And then it also has an flying armor mode, or an MS mode, or not an MS mode, mobile fortress mode. Now, I did review the MSIA version of this figure. Again, it is in my Gundam playlist, if you want to go check that out. This thing was absolutely enormous in the show. It was something like 40-some meters tall. Yeah, 40 meters tall in mobile suit mode. A normal Gundam is 18 meters tall. And this is from Zeta Gundam. So the Zeta Gundam was about 18, maybe 20 meters tall. No, I think it was 18 meters tall. This sucker, 40 meters tall. Yeah, it was big, and it laid waste to an entire city. And then it got upgraded in double Zeta. So this is the Mark II, and it's a lot deadlier. It has a whole lot more weapons. You see every single little orange circle? Those are particle beam cannons. Those aren't thrusters. Those are cannons. And then its hands also have cannons, like the picture we just saw of the big boy, of that guy, so its hands are cannons, and then the hands themselves can detach and act as wire-guided beam thingies of death. And yes, it too has a mobile fortress mode. Yes, it looks equally stupid. And no, I don't think this could fly in real life. But who cares? Minovsky particles can do anything. Alright, lastly, I'm going to show you the Destroy Gundam. This thing showed up in Gundam Seed Destiny. One of them took an entire fleet of people to defeat, and then 3 or 4 of them showed up and were dispatched in like 30 seconds. Anyway, this is its mobile armor mode. It absolutely bonkers. So you've got these 4 gigantic cannons on top. There are missile pods pointing forward and back on each side. These little red dots are all beam cannons, and it has mega beam launchers in its tummy. So yeah, high energy beam cannons, energy cannons, thermal plasma composite cannons, automatic multi-barrel Sea-Wiz, multi-phase energy cannons, and then it transforms into that. Yeah, it transforms into this, which is absolutely bonkers. So on Earth and in space, it uses these giant VTOLs to fly around. When in mobile armor mode, and actually when in MS mode, the arms are folded up in these indentations, and they can detach and fly around. So you've got these giant particle cannons, or giant cannons on the forearms. These crystals form shields, and then I think there are actual cannons in the fingertips. And then the chest has 3 cannons, the mouth has a cannon. There's a reason it was called the Destroy Gundam. And I don't remember if an MSIA toy ever got released. Well, there are some listings on eBay and Amazon for this thing that looks like it's just a posable figure. And it's 1/2000 scale. I'm not sure if this is a model or not. It doesn't actually say in any of the listings that I've been able to find. Okay, I take that back. I did find a figure or something of it. And that is just a toy. It's not a model. It is just a toy. I kind of wish I got this when it was out. Just trying to find an image of the back of the box. Darn it. Ah, there we go. Alright, yeah, it totally did transform. Yep, and you can see the hands underneath in the destroy mode. Its transformation is ridiculously simple, but it does have the arms that can come off, and it is movable. The transformation is quite literally, you stand the figure up, you take the whole backpack, rotate it 90 degrees upwards, take the entire bottom, turn it around 180 degrees, flip up the heels, straighten out the legs, and pull out the arms. And that's it. That's all you do. Still, it looks pretty badass. And here's the figure compared with the equally tiny Freedom Gundam, or what was it? Strike Freedom Gundam, that's what it was called. Jeez. The Strike Freedom Gundam. And the funny thing is, in the show, these two are not, the toys are not scaled correctly. In the show, the actual Freedom is significantly smaller. Like, the Freedom is half the size of the Destroy's head. It's a whole lot bigger. But here's an underside shot that you can get an idea of what it looked like from underneath. Anyway, that is a very long-winded way of saying I am really looking forward to this giant mother effer, and hopefully he comes out before Christmas because I want to get a hold of it. I don't care what it looks like, what color it is. I want a model kit of this because it's giant and stupid, and I have a personal love of giant, stupid Gundam robots. The Grandmaster Gundam, the Devil Gundam, the Psycho Gundam Mark 1 and 2. The bigger the freaking Gundam and the dumber they are, the more I end up liking them. Alright everybody, that's it for today's Giant Robot News. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think of all this news down in the comments. I'm really curious what you think of the Gundam stuff and what you think of that crazy football player statue. As always, I have been Baltmatrix. Thank you so much for watching. Follow the link down in the description of my Patreon, and I'll catch you next time.